Hello, everyone. Today is Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. The time's around 9:50 a.m. Pacific, and the temperature is 21 degrees Celsius here in Vancouver. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday morning live stream from Vancouver. Hello, Juanita, Jazz, and Harjad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know how the sound is. I'm using a new mic today, so let me know if you can hear me good or not. All right. Thanks, everyone. We're here in downtown at the corner of Cambie and 7th. We're going to do a little exploring. Hey, Oleg, how you doing, my man? Let me know how the sound is. I'm using a new mic today. I usually don't even use an external mic, so I just want to make sure it's working all right. What's this? Look at these people. They don't even know how to drive, eh? It's like they've never seen a pedestrian before. Hear you well, but the surrounding sounds like in a barrel. Interesting. So is that very annoying? I wonder if there's like some sort of noise reduction on here, which I wouldn't want. Hey, Medano, how you doing, my man? Yes, very beautiful day here, Juanita. 21 Celsius. Very sunny. If it really sounds weird, I'll just remove the mic, but I wonder if it's got some sort of noise reduction on. Hang on one second. Is that any better? Wall-to-wall sunshine, absolutely. Better now? Okay, great. Thanks, Oleg, for letting me know. I don't like noise reduction. I know some YouTubers use it, but it makes all the surrounding sounds very weird. And you want to hear the surrounding sounds. You want to hear the cars, the people yelling, doing stuff, whatever. But you could probably hear my voice a little bit clearer with the mic than without the mic, especially when it gets windy. Hey, Chandler, what's up, man? Welcome back to the nicest country on the planet. You want to be able to hear the birds chirping. Hey, City Emerald, how you doing, my man? Bienvenido a Canada. Welcome to Canada, yes. And I believe you are down in Portland, Oregon, right? I live streamed from there a couple weeks ago. Very nice city. I think we might try and make it over to Granville Island. I think I'm going the right way. Granville Island this way?
Yep.
Oregon City, Oregon. Oh, very cool. Yes, there is an Oregon City in Oregon. And I believe it might be the oldest city in Oregon. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's also a Salem, Oregon, named after Salem, Massachusetts, the famous home of the witch trials. The official end of the Oregon Trail. Ah, cool. And Marg is with us. Welcome, Marg D. How you doing? How's everything in Toronto? Toronto. Cute little apartment building here, I guess, yeah. Nice little balconies these guys got here. Very Hobbit-esque. Oh no, I think I'd be fine, Chandler. No one's gonna bother me. When am I coming back? Not sure. I'm not necessarily having to go to Ontario to help out my dad anymore because found a better solution he's going to move into a retirement home, so it's a lot easier for him to be taken care of with his poor vision and injections and stuff that he has to take, and the nurses and all that are going to help him out. So he'll be well taken care of in a retirement home rather than me having to do it. So he's very happy about that. So I don't really have to come back to Ontario for that reason. Yeah, that is a much better solution, Mark. Those places will cook all your food and do all your laundry and everything for you. It's like a hotel. Pretty steep hill. Oh yes, that's right, Chandler. I'm familiar with North Korea. I mean, I'm not familiar with it, but I know what it's like over there, I think. I should be used to walking hills now. I guess so. Still not that much fun to walk hills, regardless of whether you're used to it or not. Hey Cynthia, how are you? Sponsored by New Balance. That would be cool. I like New Balance. I usually wear Saucony, but I might get New Balance next time. It's a nice view from here, looks like. You can see the downtown through the trees here. Vancouver skyline. Liam, what's up, my man? How you doing, my friend? How's Vancouver? It's nice here. It's a very nice city. You wear New Balance 515? Oh, cool. I'm so surprised you're still in Canada. Well, I'll be here for a while, Cynthia. I don't think I'll be going back to San Francisco anytime soon, unfortunately. Nice condos there with very large windows, able to see. Got lots of natural light in there. Come live in Toronto. I'm not against living in Toronto, but I'm here in Vancouver. It's too far to go to Toronto now. Although living in the West Coast, you get used to this mild weather where it never snows and doesn't get humid. So Toronto's kind of the opposite of that. So not the best weather to live in the world over there in Ontario, or really anywhere in the east. It's decent right now, kind of drizzling though. Have I ever heard of what? No, I haven't heard of that. The weather here is very nice. They say that in May and June it's like really, really nice here. It's very green in Vancouver. Lots of foliage. This is Birch Street. We're on West 7th. Trying to make it over to Granville Street so we can go to Granville Island. Which is a small man-made island, kind of separating downtown Vancouver from the rest of Vancouver. And they've got like a public market on over there and other cute stuff. I don't know, guys. Don't ask me about my future plans. All we're talking about is what we're doing today. That's all I think about, is what I'm doing today, not next year. Let's see. Is there pedestrians allowed on that bridge? Hello, Hemi. Hello, Carol Ali. How are you? Yes, it is very beautiful, Juanita. I think this leads to Granville Island. Yeah, exactly, Oleg. That's a good saying, City Emerald. Nice view of the city from here. Beautiful mountains in the distance. And we have our buddy Israel in the chat. Hola, amigo. Yeah, beautiful view from up here for sure. There's tennis courts down there. I'm not sure if that's just a park or something. Let me just check something here on my phone. Hang on one sec. Boom shakalaka. What's up, my man? See the nice looking skyline here. A lot of glass buildings in Vancouver. Yeah, I hear you, Oleg. Do I miss San Francisco? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I liked it there. People were friendlier there. Here, nobody smiles. And the city itself was just more happening, you know. San Francisco has so much history, so much romance, so many stories, so many famous people live there, so many historical events happen there. Can't really say the same about Vancouver. There's not really much history here, not too many. I can't really think of any famous people that are from Vancouver. So it's different. It's not bad, but hey, David. So many things originated in San Francisco, I know. The whole counterculture is there, you know, all those amazing musicians and bands that came from there. It's like one of the greatest music cities in the world. And it's just a very influential city on our entire culture. That's why people talked about it so much, about how it was going down the drain and how it was filled with homeless people and drug addicts. It was on all the news, it was on all the national news, the international news, and everything. Vancouver has a much worse drug problem and homeless problem. I walked by East Hastings the other day and it was bad, but nobody talks about it. Nobody really cares that Vancouver is descended into debauchery. It's not really an influential city, so nobody really cares what happens here. Interesting building there. Cool condo there. Those are probably very expensive places to live. Yeah, homeless and addicts are everywhere, but in Vancouver it's much more than most cities. Much more than most cities, because they legalized all the hard drugs here in British Columbia. Now I think they may have rescinded that law, but I'm not sure. But Vancouver is where every drug addict comes to find cheap drugs in Canada, just like in San Francisco. That's where they all go to find cheap drugs. There's probably 1 million heroin dealers here. The supply is probably very, and this has been going on since the 90s, all right? Like, I have friends that have been here since the 90s. Even in the 90s, they were telling me stories about how their friends overdosed on heroin, how one of their friends committed suicide because they were so strung out on heroin. And this was going on for the last 30 years, at least, if not longer, probably since the 70s, since heroin really made its fierce debut in North America back then in the 60s and 70s. They also have safe consumption sites, they call it, where you can actually go in and inject heroin and no one's going to bother you. They'll give you like needles and everything to help you out with your addiction. Basically encouraging people to kill themselves. Yeah, exactly, Chandler. And there is a very, very strong coincidence that the more you legalize drugs, the more drug users you're going to have. It's not surprising to those of us who use logic. Politicians aren't really known for logic, though. Their goal is to get reelected, and if they can somehow convince people that it's a good idea to feed drugs to the drug users and allow everything to just descend in debauchery, then works out for them. There's certainly almost zero police presence here, so no one's going to bother you no matter what you do. Toronto doesn't have the same problem. It's much more strict. Some really nice glass condos here. Yeah, it is very disturbing. It's how it's always been out here. It's just kind of anything goes. In some ways, they're kind of proud of it, to be honest with you. They're kind of proud of the fact that every drug is legal here. They see it as sort of individual freedom. So one of the worst neighborhoods is actually Chinatown, if you can believe that. In San Francisco, they wouldn't allow that debauchery to occur in Chinatown. Legalization aims against criminals. Legalization doesn't help with the criminals. You know what helps with criminals? Putting them in jail. That's what helps with criminals. Navinda, $2 super chat. Nice to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Good to see you on the lunch that you had with Henry over there on the weekend and all the boys. That was so cool. So nice of you to treat them, Navin. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for supporting me and all the other streamers. Words as Gulf of Valdez is Spanish in Alaska. Israel really wants me to visit Alaska, it sounds like. Well, Israel, I know on the map it looks like British Columbia is really close to Alaska, but if I were to drive to Juneau, Alaska, it would take 36 hours. So, not exactly right next door. And Juneau isn't even deep into the heart of Alaska. If I were to drive to Anchorage, Alaska, you could probably add another 15, 20 hours onto that. There is a ferry you can take from Vancouver to Alaska. You can take a ferry. It's a 43-hour ferry ride. 43 hours on the ferry you have to spend. This is Davy Street. Davy Street is famous because this is the LGBT neighborhood of Vancouver. Not exactly sure which blocks, but I know that Davy Street is known as the LGBT neighborhood area. I'm not seeing too many rainbow flags in this area though, so I don't know exactly what part of Davy has the main gay neighborhood, but this is what it's known for. It's not quite as famous as the Castro. That's like traveling outside Canada and you Toronto. Yeah. Oh, maybe you know my cousin. Yeah. If I come to Toronto, we have to meet up. Yeah, I'll definitely meet up with you and all my friends from Toronto. Absolutely. I'm assuming you should be in Toronto my next visit. I will email you when returning. All right, sounds good. Will I be doing any more lives at home? No. No, I don't have a setup for that at home. Sorry. That chapter of West Coast Walker is finished for now. Well, I don't know about that, Chandler. I don't think they wish that at all, to be honest with you. I lived in the States for 16 years and nobody said they wanted universal health care. That's the last thing they want in the States. Nurses and doctors get paid 2 or 3 times as much as they do here in Canada and in the United States. One of my roommates was a nurse in San Francisco. When he worked overtime, made over $100 an hour. Vancouver is more bigger than Toronto? No, it's smaller than Toronto. Toronto's huge. Toronto's by far the biggest city in Canada. Vancouver, the city itself, is almost the exact same size as San Francisco. It's 44 square miles. San Francisco is 46 square miles. And the population of Vancouver, the city itself, is 660,000. But there's a bunch of other smaller municipalities like Burnaby and Coquitlam and Richmond and Surrey, and they're all part of the greater Vancouver area, Metro Vancouver. And so I think the population is much higher than that, like when you include all those cities, but it's still nowhere near Toronto. Yes, Navin. My dad's situation is going to be, well, we found a much better solution rather than me going home and taking care of him. He's going to be moving into a retirement home soon. It's better than living by yourself. They take care of you there, they feed you, do all your laundry, clean your room and everything, and plus he gets to hang out with a lot of people there. He's a very social person, so he doesn't really like being alone. So it's a much better solution. Then I can just do whatever I need to do in life. I don't know, Carol, but today we're just walking around and we're gonna see what happens and not worry about what we do in the future. Just seeing where we are. This is Smith and Seymour. Looks like an old school theater there, but the signage is gone. I don't know. Looks like it's No, I've never heard of that, Chandler. I've never been to Collingwood. Do I miss the States? Oh yeah, I love the States. Navin, you know, you live in the States. You know what it's like when you were born in Canada, you raised in Canada, but then you move to the States. It's a completely different vibe. This is Robson Street. Let's check out Robson Street. Let's go this way. Yeah, you're right, Navin. You ain't gonna be moving back to Toronto anytime soon, right? If you don't have to. That place looks good. Jerusalem Shawarma. I bet you they got good food there. I love that kind of stuff. Come to NYC. I'd like to come to NYC. I love New York City. I could live in New York for sure. I like places with a lot of history and a lot of stories to tell. And New York's pretty much top of the list when it comes to that. Yeah, definitely, Navin. And I'm gonna, you know, I'm not counting. I'm obviously going to keep trying to maybe get a job in the States. So I don't know what my future plans are, but we'll see what happens. No, I didn't say that just to fire you up, Chandler. You've probably never even been to the States, so you don't understand, man. I grew up in Canada. I know there was this sort of anti-American feeling growing up. I never had it, but some of my friends did, you know. I think because America is so rich and powerful and influential, and Canada is not quite have the same influence, or have nobody really talks too much about Canada, and so there's a little bit of, I don't want to say envy or jealousy, but maybe that has to do with it. So Canadians are like, oh, we're really nice, that's our that's our I'm not saying you're not nice. And Canadians are very nice, well, but you know, that's kind of their hat to hang on, because Canada doesn't have a huge identity, I wouldn't say, like French Canada does. French Canada has a very strong identity. English Canada, not so much. It's more of a conglomeration of people from all over the world who, when I was growing up in school, they always described Canada as a so-called cultural mosaic. And they said it's the opposite of America, because America is a melting pot. We're not a melting pot, we're a cultural mosaic. Personally, I think a melting pot is better than a cultural mosaic. I would much rather live in a melting pot than a cultural mosaic. I would much rather live in a place that has a strong identity than like 1,000 different identities. I'm not saying don't bring your culture with you, but leave most aspects of it in the old world and embrace Canadian or American culture. I think it's better. But that's just me. I'm not going to be changing the world with my viewpoints. Let's see what's up here. Have I tried a Japa dog? No. Hello, Steve Goodman. And the Mighty Bull is with us. The Mighty Bull has entered the chat room, our resident sage. What sort of cool pieces of wisdom does the Mighty Bull have to share with us today? Oh, this is Lowell High School. Okay. Nice little courtyard here. I love the sound of running water. Looking for Chicago Bull items and related things as we walk. Yeah, Mighty Bull, I guess Chicago is your town, right? I know, you know, you're a New Yorker, but I'm just saying Chicago is your town because the Chicago Bulls. Oh, that's CBC Radio Canada. Do you think they actually broadcast CBC Radio from here? Let's see. Canada has a national broadcasting company called the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Company. It's owned by the government. These are some famous names from CBC Radio, maybe. Let's see what's in here. No, it's locked. This is CBC Radio. Is this a public building? Okay. Okay, thanks. It's not a public building. But it looks like it's the home of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, British Columbia Regional Headquarters. And it was opened in 1971, and Her Royal Highness Princess Anne came here to place the this particular stone here. Her Royal Highness Princess Anne is the daughter of Queen Elizabeth, and I guess she would be the sister of the current king, Charles III. The King of Canada. Canada is officially a monarchy. There's a bull right by here. Where's that? Near the post office on East Georgia or West Georgia or whatever. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but we've got a large stadium in front of us. Is that BC Place? Let's go check it out. Home of the BC Lions. And the Whitecaps. The Whitecaps is the football, soccer team, right? And of course, across the street, Canada's most famous pizza place, Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza. Absolutely zero connection to the city of Boston. So this stadium is where they would play Canadian Football League, CFL action. CFL is a bit different than the NFL. Well, the rules are a bit different. This looks like a statue, and multiple statues of Terry Fox, Canada's greatest hero. Terry Fox is by far Canada's greatest hero. He jogged on one leg with cancer ravaging his body. Pretty much halfway across Canada, all by himself. And started one of the most influential charities or non-profits that's ever been founded here in Canada, the Terry Fox Foundation. And they've done they've raised a lot of money for cancer research in the last 40-50 years. Well, I think it's been over 40 years since he did that, back in the 80s, I believe. Early 80s. Oh, you worked for Boston Pizza? Yeah, I know Boom Production really likes it. I've actually never tried Boston Pizza. There is one in St. Thomas, but I've never tried it. There's the BC Lions logo. Pretty good football team. I don't know if they've ever won the Grey Cup. The Grey Cup is Canada's football championship. I guess this is where everyone would line up on game day. But yeah, let's try and get out of here. Percy Williams statue. Percy Williams, 1928 Olympic Games. Okay, I've never heard of him. Pretty big stadium for sure. And this is Rogers Arena. Well, I'm assuming this is where the Canucks play. But looks pretty, that's like the back of the building or something. Yeah, that's a good point, Oleg. I don't think they have to. I mean, I think people would still donate money to cancer no matter what. But the Terry Fox run brought, you know, a lot of publicity to cancer. Oh, okay. And there's that large ball, which I believe is from Expo 86. Looks very familiar. They did have the World's Fair in Vancouver in 1986. Yeah, the Canucks fans, they did go a little bit overboard when their team lost. Wasn't surprising, no. I know that's how people are in Vancouver. They're a little bit too crazy about the Vancouver. Cool little walking bridge that crosses this street. Oh, they call it Science World now. Java Junkie, welcome. Just seeing where I'm at right now here. Mark M says, you're going to go to Richmond and get some Chinese food. Oh, I don't think I need to go all the way to Richmond for that, do I? Richmond is kind of far from downtown Vancouver. Yeah, here in Vancouver, you can't, I mean, you don't have a problem finding Chinese food, that is for sure. Very, very big Chinese community, Asian community. Massive amounts of Indian people here. very similar to Toronto in that respect. Oh, what's going on here? Is my phone not charging? Oh, God. Okay, hang on one sec, guys. I'm going to try something. Okay, it might sound a little different. I removed the mic because it wasn't charging. Hopefully that'll fix it. Hey Alex, how you doing, man? I guess we can go check out that big ball, that big sphere. Can really smell the water today. That sort of fishy, seaweedy smell that comes off the ocean. Oh, is that right, Shakalaka? You've been here before, huh? For the Dragon Boat Festival. Cool. Fortunately, this Science World place looks like there's a lot going on here in terms of construction and whatnot. Oh, okay, the Dragon Boat Festival. That's right. I've heard of that. Hey Dakota, what's up, man? How you doing, bud? Just trying to see where I am here. Okay. So I should get to 7th soon here. Then I would turn right,
But like if we start at 9 o'clock, so me or my assistant or my supervisors,
Hey, Trojan Elk Explorer, what's up, man? Main Street SkyTrain, okay. I've taken the SkyTrain once, it's fun, it's cool. Where I live, I don't really have a SkyTrain near me though, so let's go back to the main street here instead of this walkway. What's a dragon boat? A dragon boat is like sort of a, I think it's a Chinese boat. I don't know exactly, maybe Boom knows. There's a Hans, not from here. What's Hans? It's a competitive team sport with 40-foot long wooden boats. Thanks for the info, Boom. Hans Wonton, you had them in SF. Really? I don't remember. Yeah, I think I do remember now. Hans Wonton Soup, yes. Yes, I didn't know that was a chain. There's actually 2 of them in Chinatown, right? Hans Wonton Soup, I believe, in San Francisco. Yeah, now I remember actually. Yeah, that was probably one of the first places I actually went to for Chinese food when I was in San Francisco. And I believe I did go there at least twice. If I recall, there was 2 of them that were really close to each other in Chinatown. Didn't really look like a chain, but that's interesting. Oh, okay, that's cool. Where is that place, Steve? Not sure if I'll go there now, but maybe some other time. Or maybe now. I guess I could eat some wontons. Somewhere on 2nd Ave. We'll save it for another time, I think. But it's good to know they have Hans Wonton here. It's 3rd Ave and Quebec Street. Lots of murals in this area. R&B Brewing Company. I think there's a good number of craft breweries in Vancouver. A lot of hipsters lived here back when being a hipster was cool. And they all drank that swill that these craft breweries are putting out. It's going to be a hot one today. Make sure to drink lots of water. Thank you, Trent. Yeah, it is already. As you can see, there's alleyways in Vancouver. There's alleys or laneways between every street. One thing you'll notice that there's no driveways in front of the houses. All the houses, none of them have driveways out in front. It's all out back where the alleyway is. Let's take 7th. This should take me back to Cambie, I assume. This street, you can't turn right or left here. This is not just one way, it's no way. It is a no-way street. No way, no how you're going on this street, Ontario Street. They reserved Ontario Street for no direction. Self-serve dog wash if you want to come here and wash your dog.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah, that's true. Pets live very well. People. Hey George, how you doing, George? I am missing the Bay Area. I liked it there. All right, everyone. Thanks huge for joining me on this walk through beautiful Vancouver here on a Wednesday morning. We had a really nice walk through the downtown core area, it was we saw some really beautiful buildings and great views of the city. Thanks for joining, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe, hit those notifications, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.